Are we looking at a surprise November winter storm? Maybe. We're definitely seeing something across the Southwest as we head into the next 24 to 48 hours that's developing. This is going to be a big snowmaker here, and some of this could extend as far east as the plains of Colorado into parts of western Kansas. I'm not sold that it really moves into Kansas, but this could be a multi-day snow event in this region, and we're watching a hurricane in the Gulf. This will continue to move to the north over the next couple of days, and long term, beyond this, there could be a snowstorm that pushes up into the central part of the country, and that may instigate the pattern change that we've been waiting on. If you're waiting on cold air, weather is kind of one of those things where I don't want to pick sides. You either love the snow, you hate the snow. Fair and balanced weather. Is that a thing? All right. Hey, thanks for checking the video out today, guys. If you're new, a lot of you have subscribed. The subscriber count, again, blowing me away. We are on our way to 10,000, very close. So help me out, hit subscribe. We're almost there on this very small channel, and thanks for all of your support. For all of those of you who just over less than a year we've had this channel up, so appreciate it. If you're new, I'm a former TV chief meteorologist, and clearly we're on YouTube and doing forecasting. It's not my full-time gig, but YouTube is just fine. I enjoy it. So thank you guys for coming over. I'm going to back things up and take you into Tuesday. A couple of things we're watching, two areas. One, this system that's diving into the Rockies. It's going to bring some snow here. We've also got this system moving towards the Great Lakes with some showers trailing it. And then in the Gulf, we are looking at the potential for this hurricane to move into this region. Right now, it's in the Caribbean. It's expected to move toward Cuba. Let's go ahead and talk about where that thing's going. This is the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center, bringing it across Cuba as a hurricane. So by Thursday afternoon, it's going to be here in the Gulf. The Keys will likely feel some impacts from that. They could be significant, too, from Key West all the way to the mainland here, with strong winds on this side of the storm. Now, as it moves into the Gulf, the waters, especially here in the North Gulf, are getting much colder now relative to the time of year, right? So, I mean, it's November, but this is expected to become a tropical storm. At this point, that's what looks like is going to happen. However, look how wide the cone gets from Houston all the way over to Destin. You've got to watch this storm and be ready. Center of circulation expected to go make landfall somewhere here in Louisiana as of the recording of this, but I want to show you this with some caution. Look how the models are starting to cluster a little bit over here into Florida some. Will that forecast shift a little bit? I mean, I think there's a long way to go. The trend has been for this thing to weaken now as it moves into the northern Gulf. This is just one model bringing it right here toward the mouth of the Mississippi. Stay tuned for details on that. Let's talk about the short term, and then we'll get into the snow, which I think is going to move east, possibly out of the Rockies, a little further east, I should say, next week. Showers moving through the northeast. Look how that just falls apart as we head into Wednesday, especially into the afternoon. Not a lot of moisture. We are bringing some moisture in off the Atlantic here, so that's going to bring some showers here from Florida into Georgia, into the low country of South Carolina. Also into the coastal plain of North Carolina, we could see some showers here moving north, and then back here a few showers across Kentucky and Tennessee, and all of this kind of shifts off to the south and east, and weakening as it does so. Some of these areas could really use some rain. Now let's move forward in time, kind of a wider look. I want to show you this because these storms up here in Alaska and just to the south of Alaska are absolutely bombing out. They're huge storms. I think these storms continue to just move into the western part of North America, into British Columbia, also, of course, up here into Alaska, impacting this area. And then that's just going to lead the storm parade into the west still. I think there are some changes, though. As we move into Thursday and Friday, look at this across the Southwest, a bit of a cutoff low here. This is super interesting because if this happens, we could be looking at snow in the order of feet into the mountains of New Mexico, up into Colorado. There are winter storm watches out at the time of the recording of this video. Get the latest over at weather.gov. A little closer look at this. That energy and that cold air dropping into the Rockies as we head into early Wednesday morning. So Denver, we go over to snow. We go over to snow all along the front range here, and then that moisture starts to get pushed up against the mountains now. We've got upslope flow like this. So from really the Kansas-Colorado border all the way up into the crest of the mountains here, snow could really pile up. And wait till I show you the modeled accumulation. The National Weather Service is talking about everything above 7,500 feet. You're likely going to see a foot plus. If this happens, I think we see it even lower than that. So this is just one model run. Very interesting. Now we're into Friday. Into Saturday, as this upper low moves back north toward Colorado, putting down the heavy snow again here into the Rockies. Take a look at this. This is just mind-blowing. This is the afternoon run of the European. This would take you out now through Thursday, a good 1 to 2 feet into the highest elevations, at least by Thursday night. And if this thing moves back north, or if it meanders, we keep that upslope flow going. I mean, are we looking at 30 inches here into southwest Colorado, maybe more? I mean, if that thing sits there and spins, I could see it happening over the next couple of days. Stay tuned on that. That could be really disruptive for this part of the country. A quick look, I guess, wider look at the west. There will be some snow across the Pacific Northwest and the highest of elevations and across the northern Rockies, but it's clear to see we're going to get a huge thump of snow here. It looks like from Colorado down into the mountains of New Mexico. And again, that snow, depending on that track, could be really heavy. Let's take you out even further in time. There goes our system as we head through the weekend, finally lifting into the Plain States. This may bring some welcome rain to parts of the Mississippi Valley, maybe even into the Midwest now. And I don't know how far north and east it makes it. This energy heading into Canada with some showers moving toward the East Coast by Sunday and Monday. Here comes the next storm, another strong system diving into the west. That's going to put rain and snow in the mountains. And look behind it. There's another one up here. So this is just relentless. This pattern doesn't look like it's going to break as we head through the next week or so. Some showers here in the mid-Atlantic, but the snow continues for the west. I'm telling you, ski season, absolutely awesome. At least the start of the season compared to what we've seen in the past. Another snow, it looks like, likely for the Colorado mountains into Utah, north up into Wyoming. This is where things get interesting as we head into next week. Now, there's another storm up here, another storm behind that one, but let's focus on this one here in the central United States as we move into the middle part of next week. Now, we're still pretty far out on this, but there's been some agreement in the last couple of model runs that something will form here, and that could put some snow, again, maybe a little bit further east this time. Now, are we looking at snow for parts of Nebraska, South Dakota, up into North Dakota, and that would be a heavy snow if we end up seeing this path, and that might even move into Minnesota. We're still looking at now over 7 days away, so I don't know how much I really buy into it. This is a look at the European, different vantage point. Look at that snow still going across New Mexico and Colorado all the way through Saturday. That system kicks out, okay? That's not the snowmaker I just showed you. This is the European version of it. So a little bit different, right? Much further to the north. No snow band back here to the west. So still some time to go before we iron this out. But it looks like this may be the system that kicks off to the east, brings quite a bit of rain to areas who maybe haven't seen rain, so maybe by the middle of next week, and then a push of cold air behind it. That brings some chilly air into the northeast, maybe some lake effect snow here, but it certainly doesn't look like a huge snow event at this point. And this is really far out too. We're really pushing the models beyond their realistic capability. But if one is to believe this, it does kind of line up with what I was thinking, somewhere around the middle of the month. A bit of a cool down, I think, for the Northeast. Maybe not below average here into the South, but cooler than what it's been. We've had this monster ridge. It's kind of breaking down, at least in the long wave pattern. It's what it looks like to me anyway. And with the front pushing pretty far to the south, we're finally starting to squelch the idea of tropical storms moving north. And this is what we need. We need a weather pattern change to see that go away. All right, the long-term weekly still showing the idea of, again, heavy snow across the west. This doesn't account for any random storms that might pop up, but just looking long-term, we're starting to see that pick up too here into the northeast. And then, I don't know that we see much change until we start to see the pattern shift. This is what's driving the storms now. Again, that warm water just to the east of Japan, cold air up here across Alaska and Siberia. That temperature difference just continues to just bomb those storms out again and again and again until we see this weather pattern change, at least the upper level pattern. Not a lot of change expected. We're just going to keep driving that jet into the Pacific Northwest. This is a look at the long wave pattern, the upper level jet as we head into next week. Again, there's your here's the West Coast. No, it's kind of hard to see. There's the East Coast, and look, a bit of a trough digging in. So I think there is some colder weather on the way. Maybe not winter-like, but certainly different than what we're seeing now. Okay, that's all I got. Hope you have a great night and great morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are. See you next time.